Today is trim day in the garden. Some of these plants are looking rather tired. Some of them are downright leggy, and then some are simply done with their first round of blooms. And rather than allow all of these beautiful plants to struggle through the summer, I'm going to come through and give them a nice cut back, which hopefully will set them up for some amazing growth and flowers in the heat of the summer, which will eventually make this whole yard look totally rejuvenated and amazing. Stick around. Okay, so one of the best things that you can do when your garden gets to this point, and for everybody that's going to be different depending on your growing zone, is to really slow down and assess the state of the garden and really identify what's really doing well, what needs attention, and what things need to go. And I think a little intervention right about now will help all of our plants survive through the summer heat, which is definitely coming our way. So there's three things that I really try to identify. One is what blooms are finished, and like the roses, for an example, they're finished with their first bloom cycle. And then what things are in decline, which my hanging baskets on the wall here are really starting to slow and they're getting a little bit leggy and they could use a little bit of attention, because by cutting some of these annuals back, not only are you rejuvenating or helping to rejuvenate some growth, you're saving money because you're not buying new annuals for every single season, and hopefully you can squeeze some of that budget all throughout into the fall, which is hopefully what we're going to be able to do today. Now the plants down below, they look great, but obviously right here there's a lot of things that I could spend a little bit of time on, and it will help the whole area look so much better, and it will help the plants. Okay, so in this bed, the first two things that I can identify right now are the roses and the gladiolus. I'm going to explain each one of these and why they need attention, starting with the roses. By cutting the roses back, and a lot of you who have grown roses know that this is absolutely true, it helps encourage new blooms that will hopefully arrive in just a couple of weeks. So by getting rid of some of these spent areas, we know that we're going to have some beautiful blooms just coming right around the corner. So I usually take it down to where I have 5 or more leaves and just trim it back. And so this not only helps the plant, but it helps with the appearance as well. So I'm going to do this in just a second, but the other thing that I'm going to spend some time on are the gladiolas. Now, these are amazing bulbs. They come in the form of a corm, and they bloom at this time every year. They were completely done by the end of May. And what you want to do is you want to cut the bloom heads off, but you want to leave the plant, because if you tear the plant out, then the bulbs will not have that energy that they're going to soak up from the sun via photosynthesis, which will then go back down into the corm. So you don't want to cut them all the way back to the ground. It's a little bit different than some of our perennials or annuals. You don't want to severely trim them back. So just taking it and trimming it right at the bottom of the bloom head is all you need to do. And then by doing this, eventually all of that dead, ugly, spent blooms will be gone, and the whole bed will be definitely looking a lot better than it is now. So I'm going to do that really quickly, and then we're going to move on to the wall containers. So to me, this is a huge improvement. And just by cutting off the spent blooms from the gladiolas and leaving the stalks, along with cutting the roses back, I think it looks so much better. I left my Benjamin Britten rose right here. It still has some blooms that are really starting to open at the top there. And eventually I'll cut that to where it's even with the other roses. Okay, so let's move on to the wall containers. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna work on, and this is what I cannot wait to get started, are these black cherry beautiful petunias that I have here adhered to the wall in terracotta pots. I planted these up in November and they've done beautifully, and from far away they look pretty okay, but as you get up close to them, they're really struggling. They're extremely leggy, and it's not going to do any better in the summer. In fact, if I allowed these to go in the summer, like I told you at the top of the video, then it would be really trying hard to keep all of that foliage alive in the heat, and it would put a lot of strain on the plant, especially since these are in terracotta pots, which dry out quickly. I have them on drip irrigation, but I don't care, no matter how much you water them, it's going to be really difficult for these things to stay alive. So if you give them a fresh start, which I'm going to do today, then they're going to be even better. In fact, they're so leggy, some of the branches fell off the other day on their own because we were getting kind of windy and it broke off on its own. So basically, it's time to get these things taken care of. Now, I know this seems drastic, and believe me, these annuals, these proven winter annuals, along with a lot of other annuals from various places, will do really well with a cutback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them back up, and I know that I'm supposed to leave a third down this way, but I'm going to really try to keep it a lot more severe than that, because I want the fresh branching to come from the center, not these old branches. And I've seen it work many, many times before. So I'm just going to start by clipping up at the top here a lot of these heavy branchings off, and then I'll go through, I just have my snips, and I'll shape it up. Yeah, this is really, really bad. And if I show you some of this growth inside of here, you'll see how bad it actually is. And you'll also see, if I can show you some close-ups, how the plant is already trying to push growth from the center. Yeah, look at this. This is all a haven for disease and moisture, and this is not doing the plant anything, because, you know, it's just really, really trying to stay alive at this point. So let me show you what it looks like in the center so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So if you look in the center right here, it has a lot of offshoots from the main stems. So it's basically showing me that it's trying to do this on its own. So if I just take everything off around the side and kind of leave this mound in the center, hopefully it'll come back. And I've seen this happen before where it really works well. Sometimes if the plant is too diseased, it will not come back, but I'm pretty hopeful that we'll be able to see some growth here very, very soon. Oh, and I can show you right now. Let me see if I can pull in the camera a little bit, because there is one piece right here where you can kind of really see that growth from the center. See that right there, that little shoot right there. And that's the kind of stuff that you know is going to do very well with a cutback, because the plant is going to no longer send energy to all of that nonsense hanging over the side. It'll be able to spend its time growing from the center, which is what we want. Okay, so this is something that might help me illustrate how cool it is to cut things back and how it does work to your advantage. I cut this back just about 2 weeks ago after I did my garden tour, because it was getting way overgrown and some of my black cherry petunia fell off, just like the other one did too. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a big haircut, and it's done beautifully. As you can tell, it's sprouting like crazy right there. I have this white stratosphere Gara that's doing really well from a complete shear back. I cut that all the way back to the base. And I gave my purple heliotrope just a little bit of a cutback, and everything right here is doing beautiful. I even have some of my sweet potato vine coming back, although I did try to rip that out completely. But I don't mind. Every single plant that's in here came back, and it's probably going to be full as can be in just a matter of weeks. So let's now move on to these Supertunia Mini Vista plum vein. And as you can tell, they're really looking tired, especially this one right here. But again, in the center of this plant right here is starting to really push bloom. So why not cut all of that ugly nonsense off to give it a fresh start? That's what I'm going to do. All right, let's continue doing all of these, and I'm going to take you down to the end where I'm going to trim a few more of my roses and then also my boxwoods. Okay, so this is the final area of the side of the yard that I'm going to be cleaning up today, and these boxwoods really do need some reshaping. I'm not trying to make it super formal, but I am trying to enhance the structure a little bit. And one of the things that I absolutely love about boxwoods, and I've said it before if you've been watching me for a long time, is the structure and the defined areas of the yard that it brings. Especially when you have things that are blooming, it's great to have evergreen structure intermix with what you have in your yard, and I love how these look. So I'm going to get these trimmed back. Little side note about these: a couple of years ago they were actually as tall as the fence, and when we moved in here 18 years ago, they were huge spherical shapes, and they really every single year got more and more overgrown. So a couple of years ago I decided to take them way back to the trunks, and I was taking a gamble on doing that, but I could tell from the middle down by the trunk they were sprouting a little bit, so I thought I might have a chance, and they came back beautifully. So if you have boxwood hedges that are way overgrown, don't be afraid to trim them back as well, because in my experience anyways, they come back beautifully. Just make sure that you do it in late winter, early spring, or when the weather where you are is starting to warm up slightly to where they're not going to freeze. And they came back, and I shaped them into these squares, and as you're going to find out today, they look better in that shape. And in fact, this Superbina cloudburst is just stormburst, excuse me, is growing up into the boxwood, making it look like the boxwood is blooming. It's kind of funny. So I'll trim that back too. Trim these roses back like I did the other ones back in the back bed, and also these Mini Vista plum veins in here as well. And it's going to look like a whole new space. So let's get it cleaned up. Can't wait to get this done. All right, I know it seems like a lot of work and it seems super drastic, But today's video wasn't really about making it look beautiful right this moment, but rather investing in the future. And hopefully by doing this, I'm going to have better growth and beautiful blooms in the summertime. I'm going to hit these with a little bit of fertilizer and water them in really nicely because I want to set them up for success right away. But I'm curious, are you more leery of cutting them back as much as I did? I know it seems really severe, but I think they're going to be just fine because I can see them already pushing that growth from way down in the main structure of the plants. And it's going to be beautiful in just a number of weeks. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, don't be afraid to cut them back. You may not necessarily have to be as drastic as I was, but it will help in the long run. Until next time, everybody, bye-bye.